back, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm here with Ramki Sood, and this is the Morning Brew. And joining us on set, Frances Correia and also Mark Day. We're looking at worldwide public sector, Microsoft and the government. And Microsoft will officially open the center on Monday. And this center is a center for enterprise development and innovation, and taking place and it'll be one of the first MIC, the first in MIC. So it's a lot of interesting developments, but to talk a little bit more about it, because I'm going to have to read this whole brief and then you're going to say, what? Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
And Mark, you're here from Microsoft.
Correct.
What is Microsoft's involvement in this, and why are you involved in this project?
Well, we're very proud, incredibly proud to be here with a physical presence in opening up this innovation center here in Trinidad. You represent a tremendous opportunity with the workforce development and already a very progressive local workforce that you have. And this is a way to try to bring the private sector and the public sector together to increase the competitiveness of those workforce skills and be able to not only export those skills around the rest of the region and rest of the world, but repatriate great talent back into Trinidad. So it's an important recognition, I think, and accomplishment that we're incredibly proud of, to be here invested in the community locally.
Frances, what is, when we talk about innovation, it's one of those fad words of the 21st century, and everybody wants to innovate, invent, and recreate. But how are you really going to use the center to do that?
By bringing Trinidad's best talent together, combine that with Microsoft's global resources, expertise, the mentorship, infuse that together, work with stakeholders, people who have health issues, people from the creative arts, people from education. We bring that all together and we massage that into real-world solutions. We actually do a lot of app development and create solutions that solve these real problems.
Now, looking at the app development, so I see, what kind of classes are you offering? And what, Mark, when we say Microsoft's involvement, is it just going to provide the hardware? What exactly is your involvement entail?
Part of what we're really interested in as a major momentum in the world, with so many people sort of moving into cities and the massive urbanization that's occurring around the globe, we want to see applications that are focused on citizen services in particular. And so we hear a lot about smart buildings and smart infrastructure and things like that, but we're really interested in trying to bring a whole new era of innovation around how do we better serve the citizen? How do we restore or build greater faith and trust in government? And that's what we're working on around the globe. As part of that, though, what's new and different, of course, is the fact that the world is really moving into sort of this mobile-first and cloud-first type of strategy. And we need to make sure that the workforce here locally in Trinidad is equipped to be competitive to develop new applications using cloud services and mobile services to take advantage.
You hear these terms, cloud and big data, and there's a debate now as to whether technology truly is a source of competitive advantage or managing the right technology. How then do you find that balance?
Yeah, it's a great question. I feel like the opportunity is really to try to be as transparent as we possibly can as a function of government with our citizens, and then be able to make sure that the voice of that innovation is actually coming from the people itself. So rather than the government trying to create these applications, we need to have a really great relationship using social media, using the wealth of sensory data that's out there, and most importantly, for the government to be able to publish the vast amounts of open data that they already capture and make that data available to the citizens so that they can build new applications on top of that.
Okay, so data, knowledge, and information. How then do we make it all applicable and relevant?
Well, we have to pay lots of attention to what's going on around the world. The beautiful thing about big data and the Internet of Things is that you're actually able to put the decision-making on the perimeter of what's happening. So rather than waiting for that information to be processed inside of data centers, you get that sensory information of what's really happening with the citizens in real time. So we're seeing just an amazing innovation of new applications that are happening around the globe, and really with the voice of the citizen speaking first and saying, this is what we think we need. Rather than the government telling us what we need, let's have the citizens participate in what those needs are.
And this at MIC, so you have a class of persons coming in. How is it going to work?
Yeah. So there is a classroom environment that will take 40 students at a time. We will deliver different types of training through that training center. And then there is what we are calling the prototyping center. Having trained, what do we do with great ideas, either from the students who have been trained or from other people who come with ideas? We take that into the prototyping. We bring developers together with those ideas. We develop the apps. We prototype it. We test it. We test it with the end user, very importantly. Because if it doesn't serve the end user's need, or the citizen-centric doesn't provide a citizen-centric focus, then it has failed the benchmark. We prototype it, and then we move it into full business incubation and get it ready for startups.
Looking at business incubation and the startups itself, getting relevant technology and the type of technology. So now, we talk about startups, but you're facing a different kind of competition. What was considered one proprietary knowledge and proprietary information protected is no longer protected. So how then you maintain your competitive advantage and teach people to do that?
Well, we live in a different world than we did in the advent of Windows XP and Windows way back when. It's a completely different world. So if you are paying any attention at all of what's happening in the new frontiers of disruptive technologies, it's all about what are you doing to develop new devices, new ways to engage citizens, engage businesses to create new innovations around mobile devices and around cloud. But that's not to mean that it's necessarily going to come from a proprietary application, programming interface, or language. It's going to come from all facets of whatever platform that might be. It may not be the Windows platform. And that's the beauty of what we're doing around cloud, is we're thinking about open source applications, Windows applications. We want to look at all realms of possibilities that can help increase productivity and help increase the ubiquity of what we can do from a platform perspective.
If you're not a techie and you've not embraced technology, you really are going to get left behind in this world, trust me. I tried it, and you're going to get way left behind. But, on a more serious note, things are changing as it relates to technology and the relationship that it maintains in a business and the role it maintains in a business. So now it's no longer just about having the systems and having the human element of it, but it's about getting the right content. It's about that interactive, that feedback, that constant changing and constant evolving of that. How are you going to ensure that the technology is up to date, and every 6 months you have the update, and you have that constant flow of changing and dynamism that you need?
Yeah, and I think the key word there is the dynamism. The dynamics of how we listen to what's happening in the market has changed dramatically. With the advent of, initially we had e-government services. They were very static. They weren't updated except for when operating systems were updated or other types of programs were updated. Then we had e-government, social media, or government 2.0, where we started to listen to what's happening in the marketplace, what's happening, how are governments paying attention to what's truly innovative and what matters, what's productive. And now we're moving into a whole new realm around sort of now, new applications, new innovations that are happening all the time. The key differentiator, though, in order to instill trust, and that's the key word, I think, is trust, is you not only have to be innovative and listening on the perimeter of what's happening amongst your citizens and what's happening in the private sector, but you also have to be making sure that you're securing that information in such a way that you're managing and maintaining the citizen trust. So you have to have a deep investment into data privacy, compliance, security, and even thinking about safeguarding and being transparent about how you communicate what your roadmap is. We no longer create applications on a 6-month cycle or a yearly cycle or a 3-year or a 5-year cycle. We're actually doing cloud service updates all the time, automatically. And we have to. But the best way to make sure you're getting the right updates is that you've got that listening going on at the perimeter of what's happening with citizens.
Frances, your closing comments, Trinidad and Tobago. What would you like them to know about this collaboration?
I want to say it to the world. I want to say to the world, look out. Trinidad's most talented is coming their way. We are going to finally get Trinidad the recognition it deserves in terms of the technology.
Looking at Trinidad and Tobago and technology, and Microsoft is going to make it possible. We take a very short break. When we come back, we'll have our final interview. We're going to end on an inspiring note this morning. Stay with us.